Wow. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Times with Bad Movies. I am Tim Morrison, and in just a few moments, I'll be joined by my co-host, Paul Ireland. But first, I just want to let you know that this episode is going to be a little bit different because I have chosen a movie that Paul has never seen before. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even know what movie we're about to watch. And when he joins us here in a few moments, we are going to start the movie and watch it together and discuss it as we go along. Paul isn't going to find out what movie we're doing until the title sequence starts at about 10 minutes into the movie. But I will let you guys know the movie that I chose. It's 1987's Hard Ticket to Hawaii. A lot of people may not have heard about this, but I chose it because it is just one of the craziest movies I've ever seen. It's an action movie, and here's the IMDb premise. In Hawaii, an undercover DEA agent and her civilian friend stumble upon a drug trafficking operation and have to enlist the help of all their colleagues and friends to go after the vicious drug kingpin. I have no doubt that Paul is going to love this movie, and I hope that you guys enjoy listening to it. So let's start a theme song and get Paul in here.
Oh, just sat down, Tim. Just totally ran in here, sweating it up. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Now I'm glad you could finally relax and stop sweating. Are you stressed about what movie we're going to watch?
And I'm really excited to watch a secret movie, Tim. This is really cool. We've never done something like this before. So.
No. Well, we've been doing this for a few years, so I figure it couldn't hurt to maybe change things up just a little bit for our own entertainment.
Yeah, this is a brand new thing. I don't know what I'm getting. This is a complete Pandora's box that we're going to open here.
I definitely want to live up true to our name, and I picked a bad movie. This is one that I'm sure you haven't seen before, and being that this is our first time trying this kind of like little bit of a different format, I want to pick one that I thought that you would definitely enjoy. The listeners already know that you have no idea what we're watching. They'll probably enjoy hearing your reactions to some of this.
Awesome. Let's do this, Tim. Hit the play button, buddy.
So this movie starts out on a nice romantic evening on a yacht called the Malibu Express with two of our lead stars of the film. Their names are Rowdy and Donna. Rowdy and Donna both work for a DEA agency, and currently they're not on the job because they're kind of just flirting with each other. It's clear that they don't want the other person to leave. Donna has to go somewheres. So, she takes off her top to seduce him into staying. And of course, this works. And they start making out. And this whole thing is very, very hokey. The acting in this movie is atrocious. Paul just got to see the intro of it for the first time right now. So we're going to learn more about Rowdy and Donna here shortly. But right after that scene, we switch to these Coast Guard DEA agents that go to this island called Molokai.
Yeah, you know what, Tim? I thought this was kind of funny, this part here. So these DEA agents? Is that what they're supposed to be? These guys look like
That's what they're supposed to be in the movie, yeah. But lower on the ranking than the ones that we just saw on the yacht.
Honestly, they're kind of dressed like mailmen. That's what I thought. They just have little blue rompers on, okay? And that didn't really look, they had little sun hats and stuff. And they're like, hey, this guy's telling this guy, hey, there's this little weed operation going on here. It's a family-owned drug operation, apparently. That's right. It's one of those good old-fashioned family-owned drug businesses. They don't make them like they used to, apparently. Now things have gone all corporate, man. But apparently, he said, this is what he said. He said, I would go up to these people every so often and say, this is quote, he would say, hey, bruh. Hey. And they would apparently give him some money for like hush money to keep the whole situation on the DL. So they go up there, and it is not a family-owned drug operation. Apparently, it's just a bunch of people driving around ATVs and dirt bikes, hanging out beside a dump truck with a gun, like a little Uzi kind of thing. So they decide they're gonna bail, turn around, and as they're walking away or they're trying to like stealth away, there's just a rope that just kind of just goes tense out of nowhere, like a little trip rope.
Yeah, like a little booby trap.
But that rope apparently somehow snaps both of their feet individually, okay? One single rope, and it ensnares them both, like I said, individually. They go up into the tree, and now they're hanging there, and these two guys come by, or these like four guys come by, I should say, and they just have shotties and just pump a couple into them. And it's like, that was a really bad little mannequin kind of thing that just exploded, but it was really close. You couldn't really see it. So it looked like it was kind of a person, and then the guy was like, "Meh, grind them up and feed them to the fish," or something like that.
And that's where I paused it. And Paul, you're about to find out what we were watching. The intro is just a boxing company, like a shipping company, and every box has a piece of paper on it that has a different name.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Oh, okay. I've heard about this. Never seen this. Okay. You've mentioned this a couple times. Yes.
This movie is probably one of my inspirations for even wanting to do this podcast, because this movie is just a story that is begging to be told to everybody.
Okay.
I can't really go into it with much more detail, but there are just so many things in this movie that you're going to love, I think.
I'm really digging this music right now that's going on in the intro here. This is great. Dun, 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 dun.
So I'm just going to let you know, Paul, that this movie is basically about a DA agency that contracts their agents to basically bust drug rings and stuff. And a lot of the actors in this movie were chosen because they were former Playboy models.
Oh, okay. Right on. So this is okay. I can see where we're going with this movie then.
Yeah. So, and by the way, this is an action movie, if you didn't know already.
Is this like like quotations action movie?
Oh, it's all kinds of action. So after the title sequence here with all the opening credits and stuff, we are still in this shipping company, and it appears as though there was a crate. There's a crate with this snake in it, and a forklift accidentally took off like wrapping a seal over it. There was like caution, like stay away from snake kind of thing.
It's a steel band that's holding the crate together, Tim. But somehow the forks got stuck in this crate, and he just kind of turned it sideways, and it just sheared them apart. That made no sense. So what kind of rickety packaging was holding this dangerous, allegedly, quote, dangerous snake? Which when we see the snake, folks, it is like...
I want to ask you what you thought of the snake.
Kind of like a foam pool noodle with but a sock over top of it with a snake face is what it kind of looked like. And it was really bad, like somebody just did that like home sound effect. Like they didn't even get a snake. Like, all right, go. All right, Jerry, you're a snake. Go.
Now we have just caught up with Donna, whom we met earlier on the Malibu Express raft, with her partner, who is named Taryn, and she is in witness protection because apparently she ratted on somebody in a mafia or something like that. So they are both undercover posing as like tourist people who fly planes to Molokai and back. And in this case, they just happen to be transporting this snake, this ugly looking snake.
This rubber sock snake. So hold on a second. But they're supposed to be pretending they're pilots, or are they?
Yes. But Paul, don't be fooled by their tight clothes and cowboy boots and very revealing clothing. These are highly trained agents. So we're only a few minutes into this, and I've stopped to check in with Paul a couple times now. But now we're going to give him a good 20 minutes or so of this movie. And you should be delighted, Paul, because we get another intro song. And this song is just mesmerizing. It's called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. So after the Hard Ticket to Hawaii song, Paul, you like that song?
Ticket to Hawaii. Yeah, that's all right. It's not bad. I think it's like a better sounding Jimmy Buffett song, honestly. I think that's what that is.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually not too bad. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Buffett either, and
No, he's terrible. That's what I mean. So he could learn something.
Yeah, agreed.
So
agreed. So our agents here, they land on the island of Malaki, somewhere on the island, and they are kind of walking around, and we also see these people on a little cruise ship, like somewhere off of the coast of this island. And he's Paul, you want to describe this bad guy? This is our villain, one of our villains of the movie.
It looks like a really bad, James Bond villain, kind of like Kingpin with a scarf on.
And he had one of those canes. What do you call those?
I don't know. It was like, I thought it was a magic stick.
Yeah, kind of like a presto kind of magic stick, like a wand, or a tap dancing, a tap dancing wand.
Yeah.
This guy is a kingpin drug smuggler, Paul. And this is 1987, so they're using like an RC operated remote control helicopter. This looks like like an expensive toy. And I think we'll find out what the thing was smuggling here in a second. I'm not sure if it's drugs, maybe something else. But this, he flies this helicopter over via remote control to the island. And as it's flying over, we see our two henchmen from earlier. And the girls manage to see this helicopter first. So they run over and they the door opens up and they take out this case. I think there's two of them. And no sooner these henchmen come and they tell the girls to freeze, just like bad guys do. I thought that was funny that a bad guy pulls out their guns and says freeze. But but anyways, of course, these real police women here, they don't freeze. They turn around and they just start using their ninja skills. One of them hauls out her nunchucks that we've seen her walking around with the tourists earlier for no reason. And she throws the nunchucks and hits the guy in the head with the nunchucks. And the other girl takes out like a shooting star, the one that was in like witness protection, who's not even like a real agent. I was kind of lying a little bit when I said they're both highly trained. This one girl she's just in hiding, but she knows how to use a throwing star. These two are basically ninjas, and the Samoan gets a shooting star to the neck, and the other guy gets beat down, and the girls fly off in their plane, and they go to an island here. So these girls, they have no idea who attacked them or what this is about or what they even have carrying on them right now, like what they got out of that helicopter. And here's their first thoughts as they land back home.
Let's unload and hit the jacuzzi. I do my best thinking there.
So the girls go off to the hot tub to do their thinking session, And then we quickly go to another scene at this restaurant that we're going to come back to quite a bit. It's called Edie's Restaurant. And we see the two henchmen whom got beat up by these two women a little bit ago. One of them still got the shooting star in his neck, and he's bleeding as he walks up to the restaurant. And the other guy is limping. And they go to their boss, Seth Ramiro. He is not impressed that they were taken down by two women.
I thought this was hilarious, Tim, that these henchmen thought that it was smart that they would show up. Okay, so they're like, seem like they're doing something like secret drug missions for their boss. Okay, they showed up at like a nice little like restaurant, country club kind of thing, bleeding with like a ninja star stuck in them, just walking around bleeding and be like, boss. And then it's like they're causing a ruckus. You know what I mean? Like if like. Again, henchmen just picking the dumbest people around to like do important missions. Not really a great idea if you're a rich person. You know what I mean? You should vet your henchmen is all I'm saying, people. If you're a rich bad guy out there, vet your henchmen.
So then we see our two female lead agents here, and they are having their thinking session in the jacuzzi. They're both sitting next to each other. They're kind of obviously being a little bit flirty with each other, but they decide that they should look in these little boxes to see what they managed to get from that helicopter from earlier, the little toy helicopter. And they find out that it is a box of diamonds. And they say, well, we need to report this to Rowdy. And then she says that, well, I'm done thinking now. And now we go to see Robbie, where they receive their message.
Can I just say, again, you're flying around doing these missions, okay, whatever, you drop somebody off, you get shot at, and then you're like, what the hell, why don't we unload this weird little rubber snake into some cargo thing, and then you're not even like, let's go tell somebody that we just got shot at. You're like, what the hell, let's just take our tops off, we'll go sit in the jacuzzi and think about what's going on here.
Time for some critical thinking in the jacuzzi.
Okay, all right, okay.
So then we meet Rowdy again, who we met at the very beginning. Donna and Rowdy are kind of an item. And Rowdy's partner, I think his name is Jade. I can't find anything anywhere about what his name actually is, but I'm pretty sure it's Jade. Anyways, these two are doofuses. Just like making jokes about how they're like kung fu masters. It's actually kind of racist to some extent. And they receive a message from Donna and Taryn here. And Paul, do you remember how the message comes to them? How this agency delivers their messages back and forth? Did you see that?
You know what, Tim? I did happen to catch that actually. Can I just say too, before we get to that, I just want to say the what's happening here is it's there are two guys on a yacht right now, and this guy Rowdy, I guess he's kind of looking like a Luke Skywalker kind of Mick Jagger crossover there, but he's got on like a black gi, all right, and the other guy, what's his name again, Tim? Blade or Sage or Jade or
Jade.
you think is Jade? Okay, we'll go with Jade. This guy, he like they're on this boat again. This is like straight out of like a Street Fighter scene. That's what this kind of looked like. This guy is dressed kind of like Vega from Street Fighter, but without the mask on. Okay, he's got the stupid long ponytail and like a red little gi on, and I also kind of thought he kind of looked like Gaston too. Honestly, is what this man's kind of looked like. He looked like Gaston doing martial arts,
That's a good call. He does look like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, yeah.
but a stupid Gaston. Yeah, that's what this guy. They're both idiots, and they're both there just like doing karate or whatever they're doing. And this guy drives down the pier in a little moped. Okay, he drives down a pier. Like that's not the most pier friendly idea. You know, you could just walk down. But anyways, this guy just decides to drive down. I guess he's supposed to be like a delivery guy. I don't know. He's got like a stupid hat on, but he's got like a little milk carton on the back of his little moped, and he gets out, and it's a little
Styrofoam container.
styrofoam container that you would have food in, and they open this container, and it's like the most ghetto sandwich I've ever seen next to that cheese sandwich in Night Killer. Okay, this is just a piece of Wonder Bread with some lettuce on it.
They got a lunch from the fire festival.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is like a piece of Wonder Bread with some lettuce, and then just like a letter, an envelope in there, just shoved in this little sandwich, and that's it. This is hilarious. What the hell is going on in this?
That's how they deliver their messages. You know, this is an agency. It's like Inspector Gadget, when, you know, the guy would pop up and give them their messages, give Inspector Gadget his message, and they'd have to, like, you know, burn it.
It's funny you say that because he literally just lights this on fire. It's not like, because in Inspector Gadget, they were like, this message will self-destruct in 3 seconds. But in this, the guy just like lights the styrofoam container on fire. And the bread. That's what it was amazing.
So the letter, all it says, Paul, is that there is trouble in paradise, and that's really it. We don't actually find out what it says. It says that Donna and Taryn they're in trouble.
Yeah, and then he just lights the lettuce on fire, and that's it.
So Donna and Taryn are getting out of the hot tub. They're out of the hot tub now, and they're getting dressed. And I think that each of them are like doing something different, like somewhere else in the house. And we see someone cut a phone cord, like a phone line, from outside the house. And then no sooner these two intruders come in, and it's a guy and a girl, and they're both like got pantyhose over their heads. And one of them has a set of nunchucks. And Paul, you might start noticing a theme here. He has both nunchucks in one hand and is just beating her with them. And like, it's at this point that I start noticing that nobody in this movie knows how to use nunchucks. Like they're just biffing them together as one and just like beating them, like using like as if they're clubs.
I will say the one girl did kind of like try to swing them at the start. She did kind of do like a slow over the hand thing, and she kind of caught the one nunchuck. So I was like, that's when I was like, she's got nunchucks. So she did try to do something. I'll give her credit to that. But yeah, you're right. So far, no one else has ever actually kind of used a nunchuck, nor has she used a nunchuck properly yet so far. You think, man, like you just whack somebody with that. That's pretty self-explanatory, man. Those things hurt. Damn.
So these four are kind of fighting all over the house and property, while outside the one of the drug kingpins here, bad guy, his name is Seth. He is kind of standing beside the car, and he looks over and sees that the snake escaped its crate because one of the goons bumped into this crate and it smashed. So now this snake is loose. And this guy, who he looks like he's like, I don't know, like 30 feet away from the snake, standing beside a car. The doors are open. He could just climb in the car. But he takes out his handgun and just starts like shooting at this snake. Doesn't hit it at all. So the goons inside, they decide to like kind of disband. They manage to get the diamonds that the girls had. By the way, she hid the diamonds in the freezer. These agents, these smart, trained agents, they hid the diamonds in the freezer. So when the goons are leaving, they're running out to their car to get in. The bad guy, Seth, he is totally freaked out about this snake. And the girls start shooting at him, and he actually gets shot in the face as they're trying to get away. And they manage to get away. But we see this snake, it's like going into this drain.
And they also said too that this snake was, quote, contaminated. So he didn't say what that was. Is this this is gonna be like some sort of like radioactive thing, or this is something bad? I'm assuming, right? Like you don't have to tell me, but
I'm glad you asked, Paul, because we are going to find out right now. We're going to play a clip for everyone. This is the first guy at the beginning who basically gave them their cargo, gave the girls the cargo, and he is on the phone right now trying to desperately to get a hold of these girls because he realized that this snake is very dangerous.
yeah, he kind of looks like also like a young Jerry Stiller. Now look at him. At least that's what I'm gonna say he is. Okay, like Frank Costanza, but like you shave like 30 years off him, something like that. That's what I think this guy is. This is Frank Costanza. Sorry.
Here it is.
Now, that snake has been infected by deadly toxins from cancer-infested rats.
You got Paul?
Sorry, the snake has been infected by deadly toxins from cancer-infested rats. What the hell does that mean? And why is this a problem for anybody else? What? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I guess like if it wasn't enough that this thing was infected by cancerous rats, it's even worse that it's got deadly toxins in it too, or something.
The rats got cancer. Then they got toxins. It's two. What is this? Yeah, what the hell is that?
I don't know. It's like its own little subplot, right? So now we are back at Edie's. This is a restaurant where the that drug kingpin there, Seth Ramiro, he's somewhere nearby because he also is a patron at that club, the restaurant, and he's getting his wounds healed because he got shot in the face, right? And he's refusing to go to the hospital.
Is he really getting his wounds healed, or is he just kind of putting a towel on it? Because that's all that seems like he's doing, really. Because they're like, his henchman's like, you should go and see somebody, man. I feel like
yeah, he's dabbing his wounds.
Yeah, his whole like left side of his cheek is just blown open, and they're like, do you want to do something? Maybe you want to put a little bit of some mouthwash or something. Maybe just do a little light scope rinse. You think you should get something on there, some light antiseptic or something that's gonna hurt either way, or see a doctor or something. And the guy's like, nah, it's all right. I'm just gonna tough it out. The guy kind of almost looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme a little bit too. I was like, all right, I'll give it to you. Damn.
So we also find out that Edie, the owner of this restaurant, she is also a member of this agency. So her and the two girls go out in the back to use the phone. I guess they're finally deciding to use phones now instead of sending messages and sandwiches. So they're gonna call the guys. So just to keep just so that we're all on the same page here, we all know what's going on. There are now 5 agents. There are 3 girls, the first 2, Donna, Taryn, and now Edie, the restaurant owner. All these in real life are former Playboy models, by the way. And we have our 2 guys, Rowdy and Jade. So they're all on a call right now. The 3 girls are talking to the 2 guys, and they're basically making a plan where the 2 guys are going to come and meet up with the girls so they can help them out while, they're being hunted for these diamonds. So anyways, we also find out that there is this girl named Michelle who is working with Seth Ramiro, and she is listening in on the call and feeding them information. So now this kingpin, Seth Ramiro, knows that these 2 guys are on the way. So I wanted to catch up to that point, Paul, because now this is where we get one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie.
Okay.
So we'll play this one and then we'll quickly stop just to recap what just happened here.
Man, he must be smoking some heavy doobies.
Here's the gun, Skater. Blow him away.
No problem, baby. Look out, he's got a gun.
The bazooka, Rowdy?
All right. So now this Seth Ramiro guy was tipped off. Okay, he sent his goons out to try and intercept Rowdy and Jade on their trip to go meet up with their girls. And Paul, do you want to describe what you just saw? What do you? I'll start off by telling you. They start this. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a movie. So, they're Rowdy and Jade are driving down the road in their Jeep. Cover off. It's a nice day. Nobody around except for this skateboarder who is skateboarding down the hill doing a handstand. And they're like, "Huh, that's weird." And he like turns straight up and shoots a tire. Shoots one of their tires out and shoots Jade in like the chest or arm or something like that.
Sorry, I just collected myself there, Tim. I apologize. Whew. But when that gentleman was skating down the hill in a handstand, right, which is pretty impressive actually too, right? And again, 1987, skateboarding really popular. I think the line that they used as he was handstand skateboarding by them in the Jeep was, they said, quote, "He must be smoking some gnarly doobies," which I thought was amazing. And this guy, he just did this little weird handstand all the way down to like a Jeep just sitting down there, or some other car. It was a car, that's what it was, and like a hatchback thing. But the back end's blown off this thing, okay, Tim? And at first, I was like, oh, there's like two people in the car, and one of them was the ninja guy, the ninja star guy, and he was like clutching his arm because he's like, "Hey, how are you?" He's like flagging the guy down, which is like, "Yo, dude, you're in a red car with somebody else hanging outside the other side of this car in the middle of the road. You don't need to be like waving your arm. It's pretty obvious what's going on." And then I was like, wait a second, that's not a person, that's a blow-up doll.
I was waiting for you to notice that.
And then I was very confused as to why there was a blow-up doll in the car, Tim. And then, you know what? As I was saying it aloud, it kind of explained itself. Because apparently he grabbed this blow-up doll, the skateboarder guy did, and he had a shotgun too. And I guess he was going to use this blow-up doll to hide the shotgun, which I was like, if you were just skateboarding down the hill, maybe you could have just had the gun behind your arm or your leg the first time instead of doing this other thing. But
a bag.
Yeah, beside the point. But yeah, you're just like your backpack, like a normal person. But like regardless, they went for artistic flair in this movie. So he pulls out a blow-up doll and goes. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is so weird that this is coming out of my mouth right now that I'm saying this. He pulls out a blow-up doll and he goes down the road on a skateboard with a blow-up doll, and he's got a shotgun behind it. And then the guy's like, he's like, hey, he's got a gun. And he shoots a tire or something, and then like they get pissed off, and all of a sudden the guy goes into like a cooler in the back of the Jeep, and they turn around and hit the guy with the car or something, and the skateboard guy goes like 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, like upwards.
Yeah, he just goes straight up in the air. And while this happens, the guy pulls out a bazooka. And an RPG, okay? A real RPG, folks. Well, in this movie, it's an RPG. I can't believe I'm actually, again, this is real stuff that happened in this movie. This is like Michael Scott movie, okay? He pulls out an RPG. He shoots the skateboard guy in the air with this RPG, and it explodes him. And then there's this giant explosion. But that's not it. He's not done, okay? Because this blow-up doll has gone skyward too.
Yeah, it's still like up in the air, almost like kind of flowing around, flapping around in the wind like a kite or something, or a bag drifting in the wind, a garbage bag.
Some weird sex bag kite. Yeah, that's right. And then he just decides that he's not done. He's pissed off at this blow-up doll, and he shoots the blow-up doll with an RPG.
And it explodes. Yeah, like a giant explosion, as if the rocket hit a wall or something, right? Shit, hit something solid.
Somebody did that in a movie. Somebody did that.
They sure did. That scene alone is one of the reasons why I've always wanted to do this movie.
It's just like, I mean, I don't know what that is. To me, almost that's just like,
what in the world? Who in the world? Why would they think? Why? Yeah, there's just so many questions. There's so many questions.
Sky Cats movie or something.
Oh.
It makes no sense.
All right, we got to move along. We are officially at the halfway point of the movie. So we find out that at Edie's bar there is a worker there named Michelle who is actually a villain that's working with Seth Ramiro. So we find out that Michelle is actually a guy dressing up just so that he can work at Edie's and eavesdrop on the women here. So they take Edie. She is held captive now. The two women go out to a sumo wrestler lodge or something and decide to make a phone because they need to use a phone. So that's where they go to use a phone for some reason. And does that take us to where we're at? Was that? Oh, and then the girls, Donna and Taryn here, they come across the tourists that they dropped off earlier at the beginning of the movie. However, they are dead now. They are completely mutilated. But they do find a camera. They have a Polaroid camera, I guess. They find this camera, the tourist camera, and they press a button, and a picture develops, the Polaroid. And they shake it, and it turns out that it is a picture of the snake right before it came at the tourists. So they know that the snake is still loose. I don't know why. That's like a surprise at this point. So after the gang finally gets together, the two guys and two girls, they're all together, and they need to go rescue Edie. And then at the end of it, they are all just basically making weapons. And this one guy has like this like disc with razor blades attached to the outer parameter of it. So I guess you throw it at somebody or something.
Yeah, like he's in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Kung Lao.
Kung
But it's
Lao.
Frisbee.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
But I just feel like this would really slice your hand up hard once you throw it because it's just, it's a Frisbee. It's going to leave your hand and roll off your hand.
Where do you grip on it, right?
Yeah, it's dumb. It's really stupid. You just, why would you have to do that? If you just shoot the guy.
They form a plan of attack here. And Rowdy has arrived on the coast of Seth Ramiro's property, and he's on the beach. And he starts throwing Frisbee with the guard. The guard has his Uzi in one hand and is throwing Frisbee with the other. He takes it very seriously, this Frisbee throwing, this guard.
Is this a Tommy Wiseau movie? Did Tommy Wiseau watch this and then write The Room?
So they're getting pretty competitive with their Frisbee throwing here. And Rowdy here decides to take his Frisbee out at the very last moment and throws it at the bad guy. The bad guy does not realize at all that there's like razors on the outside of this Frisbee, and it slices his fingers off. It goes through his fingers, slicing his fingers, and into the side of his head.
That's gross. There you go, right on.
So now we've got the second plan of attack, and that is Donna is in the air on this like paragliding plane type thing. Paul, do you know what this is?
It's like I think it's like a hang glider kind of thing. You're right. Something like that. It's a paraglider, hang glider, or something like that. It's a little glider bike thing, But why does that guy have just a gun hanging around the beach, and then he's like, "Hey, let's throw a Frisbee," Wouldn't you want somebody kind of serious? Not just someone who's gonna just like, oh, hey, you guys are playing volleyball. Hold on, let me put this submachine gun down and or whatever you're doing, like join in the day's activities.
Yeah, you probably want someone a little more focused than that, right?
But why is this going on this island? Where are the police and all this stuff too? Are these guys drug dealers or something? Are they the weed dealers or something?
I don't know if they're drug dealers or if it's like, or if it's a diamonds thing.
I'm so confused now. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on.
So now Donna is just paragliding around this property and dropping grenades. Like a lot of people use that as a metaphor, but she is literally dropping grenades. So we just had a pretty lame fight scene. After all the grenades were dropped around on the ground, they kind of just had this really bad shootout where the characters just like took turns shooting, and eventually all of the henchmen died, except that there was a little bit of a shootout, an interesting shootout inside of the house, a little bit of a cat and mouse game where where a villain was sneaking around with an Uzi, kind of like hiding behind doors and stuff like that, peeking around, while Roddy was sneaking around the house, hiding on the couch with his rocket launcher. And when the villain kind of like revealed himself, he saw him. Robbie just shot him, blew him out the window with this rocket launcher.
From like 10 feet away.
Yeah,
And somehow the explosion happened inside of the house, didn't kill them, but blew this man outside of the house, damaging nothing else in a wooden structure. A wooden structure with an RPG that just went off. It just shot him outside the window. Like it was like one of those like strong punching bags in Jackass. That's what it seemed like.
And they found Edie. There was one guard left. And then they had him. Like the guard he wasn't armed. He had a knife, but they had guns. And Jade insisted that, you know what, we do this the old fashioned way and we just duke it out. So they have a hand-to-hand combat fight for no reason. And eventually, of course, the henchman dies. So now Edie is rescued. So as they're celebrating and driving away in their van, they realize that, oh, they forgot to kill the main bad guy, Seth Ramiro. And they don't know where he is. So now Rowdy leaves in a dirt bike to go find Seth Ramiro. And now we're back at the, I guess, like the jacuzzi home.
Where are the police in all this again? Are they the police?
I don't know. It's like as if the two people that died earlier were like the only two police. So,
okay, but I'm assuming Scarface is now showed up here to sneak in and potentially hold her hostage.
So now we just had our fight here where Seth Ramiro snuck into the home of Donna here. She's just getting ready to go into the jacuzzi. And they kind of duke it out a little bit, and they basically have a scene that is 100% ripped off of the first movie Halloween at the very end. And like, this isn't just a matter of some things can be linked to it, like where it's reaching or anything. This is identical. She hides in a closet. Ramiro tries to stab through the closet with a butcher knife. She finds a sharp, I think it's like a harpoon gun or something, and shoots it up, and it kind of gets him in the neck. So he kind of falls down on the floor, and she crawls to safety out the hallway, but he's actually still alive. And they continue to fight again, where she stabs him in the stomach, I think this time. So then he falls down, and then she goes and hides in the bathroom. And while she's in the bathroom, she is kind of sitting on all fours beside the toilet and using some toilet paper to wipe her face off. And she puts the toilet paper in the toilet and presses the handle to flush the toilet, and out of nowhere, this toilet just explodes to pieces. Like smoke is flying. It's like a big explosion. And this snake, that we've been following around this movie, he comes like flying out of the toilet. And then Donna here, she runs out of the bathroom and hides behind a bed. And Seth Ramiro then wakes up, not knowing that Donna's behind the bed. He goes into the bathroom. As soon as he opens the bathroom door, this snake comes out and just bites him in the neck. And finally, Seth Ramiro is taken down. He is dead. It took a knife to the neck, a harpoon to the face, a snake bite to the neck, and a shot to the face. This guy is done. He's toast.
It was a contaminated snake too. So I feel like it was like a super snake as well too. You know.
Well, it was super snake. It was bitten by cancer infested rats. That's the worst kind of snake you could possibly imagine.
That's right. Those snakes that got bit by cancer rats. That's right.
But there is still this business of taking care of the snake. And Donna was just about to become its final victim until Rowdy comes flying through the wall, like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall, and he is on a dirt bike, and he hops off the dirt bike in motion and blows this snake's head off with a rocket launcher, his trusty rocket launcher.
Again, from like 10 feet away. And he just pinpoints exactly the snake's head, and it just goes like... And that's it. And just his little head explodes and nothing else on the snake explodes. Just the top of his head cleanly. Okay. And then it just like flops on the ground. And again, in a wooden like structure with nothing else damaged around them. What did they shoot off? This is not an RPG. There's no way. This is like LARPing as an RPG. This is like a Nerf little gun that he has here. I don't know what the hell this is. Like a paintball or something. It's amazing. But that was a crazy scene, though, Tim. Again, Michael Scott, I feel like they must have watched this movie and been like, he's seen this somewhere, and this is infused in his character, in his movie, and storytelling.
Well, Paul, I can't quite say it brings me no pleasure, but this movie's not over yet.
There's still one more guy to kill, I feel like.
Yes, yeah, we still have a little ways to go.
That's right. They're going to get into a limo and go fight the bad guy. The head bad guy now.
They show up to the building here of the guy who controls the remote control helicopter. He is like the real kingpin of this whole movie. And Rowdy and Donna just casually walk up there. They walk in, and his guard stands up to them. And Rowdy takes out his nunchucks. He has them both nunchucks gripped in one hand, and just giving this guy a beat down. And then he passes the nunchucks to Donna, and then she proceeds to give the guy a beat down with the nunchucks, just like cops would, right?
Again, Tim, can we just say that the nunchuck beatdown is just not even them swinging the nunchucks like you would see like in Ninja Turtles or something. It's just them taking the nunchucks and bluntly like kind of hammering the dude in the face with them like it was a
stick.
A stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nobody in this movie knows how to use nunchucks.
Yeah, and I thought they were supposed to be martial artists, but apparently
they're supposed to be ninjas at that.
They had ninja stars. That's right.
Yeah.
We're just gonna hammer you in the face with this, but you go ahead. Okay. Anyways.
And then they pull out their two guns, and he pulls out a samurai sword because apparently he's going to. I don't know. He's going to fight them. He plans on having a sword fight, and Donna just shoots him with the gun, and he blows him out the window.
So here's the thing with the sword, like you said, when he pulls out the samurai sword, it's not even like he stands there with the sword ready to fight like a normal person you would expect to hold a sword and stand with, like they're ready to attack the guy. He basically turns the sword now horizontally, okay? So the sword is now laying flat, and it's like he's going to throw it like a dart at these people. He wasn't like he was going to fight them with the sword. He was going to just take this sword now. This was his last-ditch effort, and I was going to dart throw this sword at your face.
Yeah, like a short-distance javelin or something.
Yeah. It tracks with the logic in the rest of this movie anyways, I think so.
Yeah, obviously their guns win that fight.
Yeah.
And I want to play you a clip here of what it sounds like when he is falling out the window before he hits.
That's amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing. Bravo. Bravo. All right. That was just a tremendous ending to that guy. Very appropriate.
Yeah. I love how he sounds as he's falling. It's like where they're recording his voice for it, and it's like they used all of it. It's like,
It's just this little floppy mannequin.
Yeah.
This thing's amazing.
Now the whole crew is back at their yacht, the Malibu Express, and Taryn, the one who is in witness protection, deduces that she is able to just steal the diamonds. She can keep the diamonds herself because, according to her, she is just a civilian in witness protection tagged along with these DEA agents. So, yeah, they all celebrate and keep the diamonds, which I don't think that's how that works. But why start there if I'm going to start picking at stuff, right? Then we get our cheesy 80s music again. That was in the intro. Now it's our outro, and that was it. That was Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Now, being that you just finished that movie, this crazy movie, I know that's a lot to absorb and take in. But how do you feel about this?
When you talk about like the so good it's so bad kind of movies and stuff like that, like and the scope of bad movies and wacky movies and stuff like that, this is up there, man. This is is up there. Wow, this was like Neil Breen. Do you know what I mean? Tommy Wiseau. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is hovering in and around this stratosphere of insanity. It's a Night Killer, like that is. It's in this realm. I feel like of just wild. What the hell did I just watch? Kind of crap, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so much of it. The movie is just so consistently crazy from start to finish. And you keep on thinking like even halfway through when you see that the blow up doll shenanigans and and like the overuse of like the rocket launcher and the snake. Like this movie is just so full of just absolute craziness.
Yeah. If I was a professional reviewer and they were like, give us a little blurb for the title for the poster or something, or like the VHS box cover, I would just come back with like 2 words. It would be relentlessly stupid. I think that would be it. It's just didn't give up on how insane and dumb it was at all points in this movie.
I almost feel like someone could have actually dreamt this up. Like someone who has really wacky, vivid dreams.
You know what? You're right. There's 2 more words. Fever dream. That's what this is. This is just like again, I really didn't understand like what the plot really was. They drove a snake around. The snake got out, and then some people shot at them because they found some diamonds that this bald guy had, and then there was I guess a guy. He's Scarface guy? He's a drug dealer? Or he's not a drug dealer? Like he's a separate entity from that, and he was chasing these people for the diamonds. Like he knew about the diamonds. It's like, was it a diamond deal? Did he steal the diamonds? Did Kingpin guy steal the diamonds from this guy? And then it just, so I didn't really, the synapses still aren't firing properly with this. So
I think that they were getting paid in diamonds. I think that they were producing drugs for the Kingpin. Like Seth Ramiro was producing drugs for the Kingpin, and the Kingpin was paying them in diamonds via remote control toy helicopter.
This is like a Grand Theft Auto mission. Yeah, you're right. Wow. So I don't know. This was ridiculous. This was probably one of the weirder, dumber, crazier movies I've ever seen. So you know what? That was good for a sight unseen movie, Tim. I got to tell you, this is very impressive as far as like, because you're like, what the hell? And then it's like, okay, this can't get any more ridiculous. And then you're like, a couple scenes later, you're like, what the hell? This can't get any more ridiculous. And then you're like, then there's a blow up doll. And then you're like, okay. Then there's like, a snake exploding through toilets and sumo wrestlers. And like, again, when you say this stuff aloud, you know what I mean? Like,
and for the listeners, just so you know, we actually left there's probably about like 15 or 20 minutes worth of this movie that we left out because we don't even know how to address it. As far like I can't even, you have to watch the movie yourself to even see what I'm talking about. But there's a few other little things going on in this movie that have no bearing on the story whatsoever that are so ridiculous that Paul and I are even going to bother touching it, like trying to.
I can see why this is sort of a cult movie, definitely. I mean, again, there's so many reasons to just, again, the whole skateboard scene that, like that's very unique. I can say that I've never ever seen that in a movie before. There's never been that concept ever done. I mean, in Hitman, it was a box of flowers. Wasn't anything latex or rubber, or whatever that is. So,
wow, I'm glad I finally got to show you this movie. This is what I can check off of my my bucket list for movies to do on this podcast. I only hope that I can find another movie that, like you said, kind of is in that stratosphere of just being so entertainingly awful. I hope that we're blessed to find another one just like this one.
Wow. Yeah, this was a good one to pick again for the first start of the secret movies, Tim. Wow. Good for you.
Thanks. I'm glad you liked it.
This was I don't think I'll ever revisit this again, but it was it was a very interesting movie, and you're right. It's off the bucket list of like, yeah, there you go. You've seen that one. If you've seen this movie, you have seen some things, folks. I guess it's a lot of rocket launcher stuff too in this, so pretty interesting. So that's it for us on this one. We're just gonna grab our hard ticket to Hawaii and get on out of here. We're just gonna leave you with a little bit of insanity from this movie.